All right. Hi, guys. Today, what we're going to talk about, most of you are familiar with my channel, and I just wanted to explain to you what happens to really mess up people who want to mess you up. The number one thing you can do, you can't stop them from trying to dog your life out, but when they get done and you still got breath in your body, you can make sure that they wish they never had. And I'm not saying that like with a vendetta. What I'm saying that is so that they don't go around messing up other people, you know. And I've already forgiven them. I don't have no. If I saw them today, hi, how you doing? But you gotta be responsible, right? Accountable for what your actions are. Anyways, what helped me so much is that all my life I've lived my life doing the best I can do. You will never find any place where I've been accused of doing something wrong that is provable. I have to say provable because the defendants are lying on me. I guarantee you there will be zero evidence other than their mouth lying and saying they did it. And if people do something wrong, trust me, they're going to get caught with, just like my defendants, where you could prove they're absolutely lying, that they're wrong. And so that's the number one thing. Be the best you can be. Do everything as best to the best of your ability. And have I made a mistake? No, definitely. That's my fault for being a human being. Everybody's made a mistake. But where you can prove intent, that I intended to do something, that will never happen because I have never intentionally tried to set off the system, trying to destroy somebody else, trying to do something that I knew was wrong. You ain't gonna see that in my life. So that's number one. Number two, education. Education is very important because trust me, that's what hurt them too. They didn't know my background. And number three, learn from all the different times that people have done things, especially black people. Y'all know this is happening to us. Like, you step out the door, you gotta, learn from each one of those situations. How do you make it better? How do you make it positive? I've had a situation where a KKK guy, I didn't even know he was with the KKK. I'm selling my books. He's walking around with his arms crossed, mad, just walking around. I'm at the Black Expo selling my books. And I put in myself, I didn't know he was KKK, but I put in myself, I said, today I'm going to really do what I spiritually talk about doing. I'm not going to go where he's at. And I'm going to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Ezra Shem. And you guys know my legal name is Sandra Black. So, and he says, yeah. And I said, and then I just started talking to him about, I seen that you was upset today. And I was like, could I know what's going on? And he was like, I don't see why we got a black expo. We don't got a white expo. And then, so then I knew where he's coming from, what he's mad about. So from there, I went into, it is true, and this is a fact. The system is set up to get all people, but what people need to understand is everything was designed around what would be black pitfalls. So poverty, imprisonment, housing, all of these things that would be a way to keep blacks down. And then when it happens to whites, it happens by default. You are a pawn that is sacrificed. And the reason why I tell that story is because if we wake up and realize, if we end the pitfalls that harm blacks, we would end the pitfalls that harm everybody. Everybody wins by default. Okay, so anyways, and I was explaining to him how we all came from one source. We were all one. And this man, and I told him, I said, this is what the human situation is. The ultimate deceit of the human race is because we don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from. You know, Christians is always talking about, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. You know, in the name of Jesus. Because I was a deep one. Knowing nothing, believing everything. Okay? So, but now I'm a knower. I have to know where am I from? What is this world? What is this creation about? Why do we suffer the way we do? And so back to this guy, I'm telling him all of this stuff that's in me. And then when I tell him that we are all one, and that's the problem, we've been set up to be divided against each other. And then he says, well, I'm going to let you know, my father is a dragon, KK, Ku Klux Klansman. And he said he knows that his ancestry is black. We are from black people. This is white KKK guy. And he had a tear in his eyes. And I was telling him, I'm glad that you're able to expose that you know that. And I'm also glad to see that in your heart, what you want to see is the same thing I want to see. We want to see happiness and peace for all of us. And then we're suffering so bad within the individual that we can't think of nobody but ourselves. Okay? And we just had this serious, outright talk. And the man bought my book, Ultimate Deceit of the Human Race. And I told him, let's stay together and talk. But after we separated that day, I never heard from him again. But the point was, that was a moment. And it was a moment that could have been lost forever, where you're able to share to a person who's absolutely the opposite of everything you stand for, and he could feel it within that moment. I don't know what happened because I gave him my information, he didn't give me his. So, that being said, back to what I was saying as far as teaching, living your life so that it's the best life you can be. You have to know your place within society, because your societal place and your reality place are two different places. Okay? So, you have to make sure that according to society, where you have to be there. And that's sad to say, but that's part of our society. Okay? And if you're not there, what's going to be happening is that you're always going to be susceptible, the lower your position in society, to being destroyed. Okay? So I have certain things that I don't adhere to with society. I don't adhere to, like right now you can kind of see I'm doing a little lipstick, a little something. I don't do that. You know? I'm like Judge Judy. Throw your hair back in a ponytail and go to work. You know? But anyways, so be your best. And the reason why I do that is because, and I'm older now, this is what gives me time. I don't have to focus on my appearance at all times. And for the most part, I'm not going to. That's going to be part of my time I save. And then the next thing that I had on my side is that they didn't know all of this background of how I had been suffering. And if you can go through other videos, I talk about it. with them taking my mom, with them trying to take my grandson, with them trying to take my son right now as we speak with a lie and cheating him in court, with my daughter who gave into the system. And what I mean by that is we get depressed. You know that the system is unfair, and oh, woe is me. And this is not, when I say woe is me, I'm not saying it as the way the system says it. Woe is me, grow up, we don't care. I'm saying woe is me as this was the downfall that turned to drugs. And then when you turn to drugs, it's just always a downfall. And what I'm pointing out in court is that due to our situation, anybody that attacks black people, and they do it intentionally and maliciously, embedded law has to step in to give us a bit of getting close to equality. And it needs to stay there until we can become equal, until we make the same money as whites do, until we have the same rights walking into society as whites do. We're imprisoned equally as whites are imprisoned. We're imprisoned. See, this is what people don't do. They don't take the backward side and go equal. They take, well, do you get equal money? Do you get equal housing? No, I want to get equal prison time. Okay, I want the time. How long are we in prison? Is it equal to a white person? How many people are in prison percentage-wise? Okay, we're only 12% of the population. What is our population in prison? Make that equal, okay? The people in poverty. How many blacks are in poverty? Make whites and blacks equal amount that is in poverty. You see what I'm saying? This is the way we need to start looking at what equality is, because then we're really looking at what equality is. You see? And that's another thing. Get outside the box, just like how I'm talking here, and just like how I was talking about there's no such thing as a white person. There is no such thing as a white person. White people are black people. And they're delusional if they think they're not. Here's the evidence. It's a fact, a scientific fact. Everybody knows scientifically all people came from Africa. All people came from black people. Okay? Let's compare Michael Jackson. Would Michael Jackson look delusional calling himself a white man? 100% Michael Jackson will be delusional to say he's a white man. But why are white people calling themselves white? Just because they turned white thousands of years ago. They lost their melanin thousands of years ago. And so now they're white people? No, you're just black people who lost your melanin. That's a fact. Fact. And you guys have my permission right now to cut how many ever seconds I was talking about who white people are. White people are black people. This is the human race. This is the colors of race of people who all came from black people, who are all black people, who cannot be alive today without black blood, without black DNA. Let me put that, there's black DNA in you. And just like the guy I was just telling you about, you see, when you have the reality and you face the reality of who we are one. There's no difference. None. The only difference is we couldn't see white people turn white. We saw Michael Jackson turn white. So Michael Jackson is a black man. White people are black men. Black people. And black people, they need to learn to accept it too. Because they even tried, I remember with Dr. Ben Yokan, and that's my uh, um, how can I say, a mentor as far as being out there to swallow all of the suffering this black man swallowed, went to his grave suffering because he was born the wrong color of this society, you know. And he was, really adamantly against me, talking about, you're going to put all the people together. That's the worst thing that can happen. Saying that all the people are one. That those crackers, this. He was pissed off. And it's just the hurt of being tortured all your life, you know. But I explained to him, you know our history. Now come on now. You've admitted yourself they are from us. And regardless, people, well, they got the Neanderthal, they're part animal. The part that makes them human is Africa, black. That's the part that makes them human. And you can not deny a species cannot mate with a different species. No dog can get a cat pregnant. No dog can get a human pregnant. Bestiality, nastiness. I'm just showing you, you can't jump species. This is scientific fact. You can't jump species. So therefore, whether there's 100% Neanderthal, somewhere that drop made them human. And we know that it's way more than a drop. They're black people. White people are black people. So, educating ourselves of who we are can also stop this crap about, well, we're going to change history. From now on, blacks were never enslaved. They came over here happily looking for jobs. A lie is not the way to fix it. A lie is not the way to fix it. The truth, like what I'm telling you, this is the truth. Scientific, you can Google anywhere. Where did the human race come from? The first people are all Africans, and we're all descendants from them. So, it's really comical that to try to stop the pain, the answer is going to be lie about it. That has to be nipped in the bud. It really does. We don't have to lie. As a matter of fact, you're going to make things worse and very bad for people. So, here goes the school bus. Trying to remember my train of thought of everywhere I want to go. So yeah, where I'm trying to stick with is being the best you. So, well, hey there, Miss Nancy, how you doing? That's my neighbor. I'm doing good. I'm doing a video. You don't want to be in it, do you? I ain't got you in it. Bye-bye. I got issues, y'all. I got issues. I just love picking at people like that. Because she's getting ready to stop and talk and talk and talk. Oh, Lord, what's wrong with me? I love life. Oh, I forgot. You guys, I never mentioned I'm fasting. Today's like, it's either, dang on it. I just had made a video. Let's see. Today is 19, day 19. Days start to go together on you. But also, when you are doing things, know what you're doing. With me fasting, and how many people do you know has never eating food? No food. Since, well, the no food part, I have to say, take away 3 from 19. Because the first day I fasted from the morning till night. And then the second and the third day the same. So take away 3 from 19. Okay? So I've had, that bus is just riding all around. 16 days, absolutely no food. And look at, you don't see me. Oh. But the reason why it's like that is because I know how to fast. I'm a spiritual person. I live my life spiritually. That's another thing they messed up with. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know who they was messing with. And when you plan to get somebody, because as far as they thought I was some dumb Negro, old granny, that they could do anything to. And that's the reason why they pushed it to where it went to court. Because they normally don't even go to court at all. What they normally do is just keep picking at a person, let you show where you wasn't, there's no way they're telling the truth, and then they run the black people out, and then eventually the black person gets out. But then when you pick with the wrong person, you gotta fight. You can't get you just can't just lie. It's not gonna work. And then you're intelligent enough and have had enough experience to have yourself. And then you know what? Even more than that, then God even set them up. God set them up. Because the day they finally made their decision to make that big lie, because they watched them people walk in my house one day, it was the same day God put them there with court order, taking them from their mother, forcing them into my son's custody, where my son brings them into the house. And then they was going to say those people was there all the time, telling that lie. And then the court, they don't want black people to get this reparations form of reparation. So we're going to make sure this never goes to jury. We're going to lie from the beginning. Her son and grandchildren weren't on the lease, and we're not going to take it back. That's what they did. And higher up is what they're saying. This is just a whole panel. My hair was on there. A whole panel just said it. She's only mad because of the opinions of the court, meaning their exact words, we don't work with the correctness. Okay. Hello, how you doing? Good. We don't work with correctness. We don't try to fix anything regarding correctness. But when does a fact have anything to do with a correctness? There is no such, you have to take the ness off. You have to say, we don't handle anything at all of whether it's correct or not. So anyways, back to what has helped me a lot, being spiritual. And what that does is put you on a path where people are set up. Divine intervention. So here I am now fasting. I can fast as long as the Creator is with me for fasting. And what does that mean? Until I get what I'm seeking. And what I seek is what needs to happen. I've already thought, should I go this route? Because for real, before I ever filed this lawsuit, I was kind of not even wanting to file it because, you know, I just didn't want to go through all the suffering and everything. But I know how this ends. I know that this ends with us getting, is that a fly trying to be in my hair? Trying to I'm trying to get what will help all black people to end all of this. He really likes my hair. So anyways, trying to remember now, where was I? Stay focused. Okay, so what I was trying to show you is with the fasting, we know that this is kind of serious. No food. So until I get what we need, which is the exposure of this case and the judges, number one, or until God says your body is not going to tolerate this. I'm not trying to kill myself. But if whichever one comes first, that's the only thing that's going to stop this fast. Now, or if I get down below, let's say, 100 pounds. I get down to 100 pounds. I'm not a 200-pound woman now. But we all know that not having a healthy weight is not good. So I got a long ways to go to 100 pounds because I'm still like in the 190s. Okay. And so I'm living off my fat. And people feel like, oh, you got to have calories. No. You got to have calories if you keep putting all that sugar in your body. Sugar begats sugar, begats sugar. Carbs, all them carbs. I'm telling you, do my research. That's why you have to feed on calories. But as long as you're putting water and after I do my blood test and everything comes out normal, I'm going to take out all of the supplements, all of the pills of green algae and sea moss and multivitamins and elderberry and turmeric. And believe it or not, that stuff is food because I still actually, it's a human thing. I still have a bowel movement. Really? I never seen that coming. And then I wonder, where is it coming from? I'm figuring these tablets open up in your gut and turn into some kind of food. I don't know. I still constantly lose weight, but so they're definitely their nutrition. There's some nutrition. It's just that, man, when they eating, oh wow, they got chicken and noodles, and then they've got chicken, potatoes, and carrots, and corn, and all different kinds of foods. And I gotta cook it too, y'all. That's the part. That's the main part I don't like. Cooking for these kids. But you know what feels so funny? Is when I'm cooking for them, I cook with more love, more spirituality into it. And all I can do is tap it to taste the juice, to get flavors. And sometimes I don't get my flavors just right, but I'm learning as I go how to improvise, because the tip of the tongue doesn't get the whole flavor. I can tell now when there ain't enough salt now. There's not enough, something's not. Y'all better start sprinkling them seasons together, because y'all know I can't eat it. But, yeah. So, it's just beautiful to be on top of your game. And that's what I teach my kids. Be on top of your game. Care about other people. And that's where I went wrong with one of my kids. For some reason, she never got the picture. Now you know it's one of my girls. But you can't just spend your life in no suffering. It's not going to happen. And you know what? When I said one of my kids, all of my kids, that's their problem. That's their problem. They want no suffering. It's not going to happen, especially in this society and in this world. It's never going to happen. There's going to be a day it's going to rain on your parade. And you can't look at, well, who do I blame for this rain? And I'm going to be upset. And my life is miserable. And I'm going to be depressed. The only way you can be depressed is if you're selfish. You're thinking of yourself. Woe is me. I've got this terrible feeling. Because sometimes we do have a feeling of gloom for no reason. But see, you know what I do when I get a feeling of gloom? That means it's time to work on myself. I ain't thinking about kids. I ain't thinking about nobody but myself. And I'm not asking why, because I know why. It's not me. A feeling of gloom is from the demonic world. I'm just telling you. Human beings are not supposed to feel gloom. Even when you have a death. And I ain't got this far, but a spiritual person, people who are spiritual know. You are never supposed to feel any difference in peace, period. Because nothing has ever changed. It's always been there. We're living, it's just so beautiful once you understand the real world. And you're not going to probably be able to understand because now I'm going deep. But I'm going to go deep with you guys. We're living in a world of an illusion of a hologram. And the bodies that you walk around in is nothing more than your biological vehicle or car, truck, whatever you want to call it. What you looking in the mirror is just a thing that is biological. Okay? And if you look at what it's made up of a heart, a pump. It's made up of a computer, your brain. You have heat exchangers. That's the metabolic system. You have the nervous systems, which connects everything to and from the brain. It sends the messages to and from the brain through its tubing and piping. That's the nervous system. The blood to exchange your nutrients and waste in and out of the system is right there. The circulatory system is the same thing. It's a machine. The body is a machine. It's a biological machine. Okay. And the rainbow, I don't even have to go there. All I'm going to do is put this. We know that the rainbow got a shape. We know that rainbow has colors. The colors we know come from when the light hits moisture in the air. And it makes those colors. That's scientific fact. Light, water, the way that it hits makes those colors. But what is the refraction or reflection of the shape of the rainbow? See, nobody talks about the shape. There is something that is constantly, always and forever, right there on earth that makes the shape. And the only thing I can envision is the dome. That's what makes the shape. And Trust me, a rainbow is not just this. The actual shape is all the way around, like a dome. So, man, I can't believe I'm getting ready to go deep, but I'm really getting ready to go deep. So we were planted here, we were seeded here in many different ways of creation. The physical body is made by one creation, and the spiritual body is another creation. Okay? And the emotional body, the mental body, all of these bodies that we have to take care of. The spiritual body has to be taken care of. The physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. Okay? The easiest one to explain is the physical. And the way the physical body was seeded is through the Anunnaki. You're going to look that up. Ain't gonna say nothing. Anunnaki, or in the Bible, the Anunnaki are called Nephilim. It's in there. I'm trying to remember which. The Nephilim are, look in Genesis where they talk about, I think it's in chapter 11, where it says that in those days the sons of God came down and mingled with the daughters of men. The Nephilim came down and mingled with the Neanderthal or Homo sapien and all of them different ones. Well, it's before Homo sapien that they started it. And what they did was, and I know my history. I've read tons and tons of books. That's how I was able to write The Ultimate Deceit of the Human Race. When you know your history, these people talked about it. They explained all over the earth. From Africa, okay, with Ogun and Obotala and Oshun, all of them, they talked about it. Then to Egypt, they talked about it. Mesopotamia, Sumeria, all of these people said that these people came down to earth and mingled. And this is how the human race got started. But it's so much deeper, because the physical body is still in the process of being not human yet. And what they did is they came back like every 3,000 years, 3,500 I believe, and they extinct. These people killed off those hominins that they made and kept just a few to put the DNA of Anunnaki to raise up the next group. Went away 3,500 years, came back. Killed off that group. And that's the reason why it's the missing link. Because remember, just common sense. Why don't we find evolving man right now? Why isn't there a man right now that's turning from monkey to Homo sapien? Why doesn't that happen? There should be a transition of that happening. It's because it never happened like that. And they know in reality it can't happen that fast. Species don't keep evolving from a few thousands of years, and then jump again at thousands of years and jump. It doesn't happen like that. Keep trying to sell that lie to the people. My neighbor just came back. But I think we'll continue this discussion, because I just went deep, and all I was going to try to tell you guys is that, hey, be the best you can be. Love life. Be happy. Try to know something. Try to get knowledge. Knowledge is powerful too. When the Bible says we are destroyed for lack of knowledge, I tell you one thing, that's the biggest truth. We don't know who we are, and we don't know our power. I know some of my power. I know at least, I bet you I know at least maybe 5% of our power. Might be 1%. And I know enough to know that I don't know enough. I know enough to know that I really, really don't know enough. And that's power. So you guys, I'm going to call it a day because people are starting to go and come. And y'all have a good one. And I would like to go really deep. Y'all look up the story about Nephilim. Y'all look up the Enuma Elish, the creation tablets, the Babylonian, I think it's the 7 tablets of creation. I'm trying to remember, because I haven't been doing that stuff for years now. I'm pulling all this back. So, the emerald tablets, Billy Carson, I've shared something on him. He's really knowledgeable about that information. But I'm going to cut it short now and call it a day. So good talking to you guys. Bye.